Hey. Get money all day, get money all night. Sip my drink, ho, let's get right. Getting paid, I'm getting paid. Roll one up, let's catch this flight right. Getting paid, I'm getting paid. Hey, it's your boy Tight. But you tuning in with Ray Ray's podcast. Kicking my boy Ray. You know what I'm talking about?
Hey, we back at it again, y'all. It's your guy Ray, host of Ray Ray's podcast. You know, we come live from the 10th floor, the beautiful Hello Studios located in my city, the greatest city in the world, downtown Dallas, Texas. This is the show where we feature people that are doing such of amazing things in the city of Dallas, DFW area, where we want to highlight them and talk about them and let them share their stories here on this show, all right? If you're not, hey, if you ain't subscribed, hey, you watching it right now, press the pause button, click the button below. Yeah, like, subscribe, follow all things Ray Ray's podcast so you're tapped into what we got going on, all right? So we got a great guest. We'll introduce them shortly, but, you know, we always got to start the show off with positive words, all right? So, just in case someone told you today, I just want you to know that you're beautiful, you're loved, you're needed, you're alive for a reason. Hey, you're stronger than you think. Whatever it is you're going through right now, you're going to get through this. See, here on this show, my show, Ray Ray's podcast, I am glad that you're alive, and most importantly, don't give up. Tough situations are always going to come up, so it's what you put your mind and heart on is going to help you get through those situations so much better, all right? Cool. The beginning of this year, we started a segment. It's called Shout Out. This is a segment where we like to shout people, places, things, events out that we feel like you guys need to go check out. So today, we want to shout out my buddy, Chef Henry Johnson. He's the head executive chef over there at EVELYN, such an amazing restaurant over there in the Design Arts District. Make sure you go check out Chef Henry there. Go check out EVELYN. Go get some good food. Also, I don't know, if you're bored, you like TV, you can catch him on this season's of Hell's Kitchen that comes on Thursday nights on Fox and the next day on Hulu. So we want to shout out our friend, our buddy, Chef Henry Johnson, all right? So speaking of Henry Johnson, we've got him in the building. It's a guy I've known for about almost 10 years now. We worked together for a little bit.
Yeah.
Y'all, give a warm Ray Ray's podcast. Welcome to my buddy, my friend, Chef Henry Johnson of EVELYN. How's it going, buddy? Good to see you. How you doing, man?
I'm proud of you, man. Like this, what you've accomplished in 5 years is amazing.
It's been very interesting.
It's awesome, man. I'm just, like I said, you know, we worked together, which seems so long ago, but really what we both have accomplished in such a short time is absolutely amazing.
What's the meme? Look at us.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Couple of kids.
Just look at us, you know. And we don't live that far from each other. Come to find out now, like we're a hop, skip, and a jump away from each other too. So.
I mean, technically we could carpool. Honestly, I keep later hours than you probably would, but
it could be
anything with gas prices. I mean, I know they're going down, but they'll eventually go back up.
Of course, that's what everything. That's what she said. Man, so we got you on the show, man. There's so much we could talk about, man. Since the last time, you know, we've really seen each other. That's been like, 8 years ago, maybe? 8 years, somewhere around that time. 7, 8 years, yeah. A lot has happened in both of our lives. You know, one of the things is, you know, you're on Hell's Kitchen. Like I said, we mentioned you are also the head executive chef over at EVELYN. So let's go on a journey. Let's find out who Chef Johnson is. Chef Henry. I don't know, Chef Henry, Chef. What do you like to be called in the kitchen? Just Chef?
Honestly, Chef's good. I really don't. Honestly, titles really don't mean anything to me.
Yeah,
at the end of the day, we're all under the same mindset for guest satisfaction. So
yeah,
I really don't care what you call me as long as there's a little respect at the end of it. We'll be good, you know?
All right, we good. All right. So let's find out about you, all right? Let's walk us through, all right? Who you are, and also let's talk about how you got into the city of Dallas.
So, you know, obviously I feel like everybody comes from humble beginnings. So, you know, grew up, graduated high school in a very small town in Kansas. Nothing too extraordinary about that. Just a lot of corn, a lot of wheat. But I was fortunate enough to decide that I wanted to pursue culinary, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of times, like when you grow up in a single-parent household, you know, daycare is not always an option, so you got to be your own babysitter. And I just remember a lot of times, like cooking by myself at a probably not the greatest age, like 5, 6, 7 years old, making mac and cheese, you know what I mean, from the blue box. And then, so I knew that was a passion, right? Like I had originally gone to junior college for jazz studies. Still actively play the saxophone, but being a jazz musician is not really a degree program that they have. It's like band teacher or audio engineering, right? So with that, my dad told me, hey, like the Culinary Institute of America is a phenomenal school, and that he told me about, like, back in like the 80s, they used to do like PBS publications where they would, kind of like Mr. Rogers style, where they, just have like live on campus and you'd be watching the instructors cook. So I did my research. It's expensive. And I mean, we weren't poor, but we knew how to rub two pennies together, for sure. And so, the Air Force was my option, right, for that GI Bill money. So during that process of, getting ready to go to the Air Force, lost a lot of weight, you know what I mean? A lot of weight. So health and fitness and food, they all tie together.
Yeah.
But I was fortunate enough to meet my now wife, and, we dated and we were engaged the entire time I was in the Air Force, and she's been supportive, and always been my rock. But from 2009 to 2015, I got to travel the world, protect America, if you will. And so thank you to all the taxpayers out there for paying that brief salary of mine for 6 years. I really appreciate that. And once I did that, my wife was able to get a master's in dietetics and nutrition. And then I humbly requested that she support me while I go to college in San Antonio. At the Culinary Institute of America. Yeah. And then from that moment, my wife is a Dallasite. She's a Plano girl.
Yeah.
And I was wrapping up in 2017. I was wrapping up and, getting ready to graduate. And she just looked at me and she was like, I'm not really feeling San Antonio. I need you to go to Dallas and I need you to locate a job. And so I was like, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yes.
And I would visit her all the time, and I have absolutely come to like just fall in love with Dallas. Like, I don't think Dallas gets enough credit for being a food mecca like Chicago and LA and New York, and Miami. Like, it's quite frankly, it's bullshit because we have established like such a strong culinary footprint.
Yeah.
So I would drive, like I would get up, I would go to school on Fridays, 6 a.m. I'd work my storeroom job, get out of class at like 8 p.m. and then I would drive to Dallas and I would stage. And staging is a culinary term where you basically are unpaid and you work a ridiculous amount of hours for free. Yeah. Maybe you get a burger at the end of your shift, and that's basically like a working interview. And so I would do that a couple weeks in a row, towards my graduation from the CIA. But I came up here. I was fortunate enough to land a job at Cafe Pacific.
Okay.
And then, I went back to San Antonio. I was like, I have a job. And then my wife was like, now let's get a U-Haul. And then we packed up, we moved to Dallas, and the rest is honestly history. So,
dude, that's amazing. He said, we're not in Kansas anymore.
we definitely weren't in Kansas. We met at KU. We met at a fraternity party, but we're definitely not in Kansas anymore. I'll tell you that.
Okay. And we're going to veer off here for a second. You talked about the mecca of culinary here, we have in Dallas. I feel like also in general, the service industry, restaurant industry is changing rapidly from versus when I first got into the service industry. And I'm not going to tell you when, but I'm not going to date myself there, but it's changed.
1,000%.
It's changed. Like, I remember, when I was younger, I was in my teenage years, I worked for Chili's in Brinker. I remember when they introduced the 2 for $20 because we had a recession at that point. That was probably one of the smartest ideas they probably could have ever did because people still need to eat out, still want to eat out, but can they afford to eat out? Exactly. They made that affordable. Now it's just seeing the evolution of the way restaurants, what they have on how menus are prepared. Also how you describe, hey, this is how we want you to describe the food. Farm to table. That wasn't a big thing about 15, 20 years ago. That's become a really big thing in the last probably 10 plus years or so, maybe a little bit longer than that. So everything has changed. Now, there's a lot of restaurants now, hey, we need a credit card on file for you to make a reservation. If you don't show up, we're going to charge you X amount of fee. Also, you only have 90 minutes to eat. A lot of things have changed. A lot of places also too, we accommodate big parties. No, we don't like pushing tables together. There's a lot of things that have changed. What are some of the things that you can, testify to, hand on, being in a restaurant, day in and day out?
I think we have forgotten a little bit of the true essence of hospitality, right? And so that's one of the things that I enjoy about what I do, right? Like, yes, I enjoy cooking.
Yeah.
Yes, I enjoy mentoring, but hospitality, right? Like, if you're going to take 2 hours out of your day, right? Tough day at work,
Yeah.
long ass commute, right? 75, I think we can all agree.
Yeah.
And take the time to get a babysitter, you know what I mean? And make a big deal of going out, then it should be a magical moment. And it shouldn't matter whether you're going to Chili's or you're going to EVELYN. And
Check
that's
them out.
and that's one of the things that I pride myself in, and we pride ourselves in, and we're currently at EVELYN, is a hospitality experience. And I think some restaurants are losing that magic. I kind of it's like, might be a hot take, but it's like that coastal mentality of like, if you build up enough pomp and circumstance around a restaurant, that people will be okay with being treated less than perfection. You know what I mean? Like, they'll be fine with, I'm sorry, but you sat down and it's been 40 minutes, but I need this table. Can you please move to the bar?
Yeah.
Right? We're in a very hot and happening restaurant. Like, and I just don't necessarily agree with that. Like, I understand that with prestige, you get a little bit of like, you get a little ebb and flow a little bit, right? But I don't ever think you should bend the knee to hospitality. And I think you should always try and figure out a way to make it work, even if you're trying to, operate within those structures where you have to. I mean, at the end of the day, if you only have 100 seats, you only have 100 seats, right? And if you're overbooked, you're overbooked. But try to find a way to make the first dining experience at your restaurant the same as the very last dining experience. So somebody comes in at 5 o'clock, and then somebody comes in at 11 o'clock.
The same
it's
service.
the same service, same expectations, same everything. So, and then, not to date myself, but I came up in some rough, I think is the right term I would use, demanding standard kitchens. And, with today being 2025 and, again, another hot take, there's a lot of feelings that are involved. And I've always adopted the mantra, like, professional, not personal, right? So, getting chewed out and getting reamed is not a bad thing, right? You can't make diamonds without pressure, and you can't thrive in a chaotic environment without structure and discipline. And that's one of the things that I bring to every kitchen that I've had the opportunity to work in is, military precision, that background, that discipline, attacking a problem head on. Yeah. And that's one of the things that I still institute in my kitchen, is, discipline. I love to joke. I love to have a good time, but, when the heat is on, no pun intended, like, the guest experience is the top priority, and we can talk about how you feel about that. We can talk about it 100%. Mental health is very important. Like, if you're going through it, I'm there for you, but we can talk about it when the guest is taken care of.
And that's another thing too. Like, people freely escape. Like, these people pay your bills. Like, if you're a server, like, you think you want to take care of the people that are, that are paying you there, but like, it's not. Like, people automatically assume, because like a lot of places have automatic gratuity. At a lot of places, some people are like, I'm getting paid regardless. Other fact, which that's kind of a crap mentality to have. Think how much more money you could be making on top of that. I'm the type of person, if there's gratuity on it, I'm gonna tip on top of the gratuity. Like, especially if you're giving me great service. Then I'm into it. But like, I'm like, all right, you're just gonna get the 20% that's already on there, because, I can relate. I was in your shoes, so I'm gonna make sure those people are taken care of. And that's the reason why I'm kind of like a creature of habit. Like, I like to go places that I'm familiar with. They know what I like. They know how I like it. A lot of times, my favorite bar, I go sit down. My drink is there waiting for me as soon as I walk in the door.
Exactly.
Like, people need to get back to that. Like, create regulars.
And I don't think that you can't do that in any. You can do that in any setting. Like, it doesn't have to be, like, you can create regulars wherever you go and whatever you do, right? And whether it's in a Michelin star restaurant or whether it's in a dive bar, you know what I mean? And that's where, getting back to basics, like, service is just like literally doing your job. Like, that's the service that you were hired and paid for. But the hospitality, right? Like, the nurturing, like, even remembering somebody's name, like, that's huge. And, coming out and, one of the things that I love to do is, I adopted this mentality, and I thought about it as like, have you ever been mad at eating like a warm chocolate chip cookie, right? Like nobody's ever been upset and they're like, man, I'm so frustrated, and I'm even more frustrated now that I'm eating this warm chocolate chip cookie. So like I've spent years like just kind of like making like what I would consider like a really good cookie. And then, I work in restaurants, and it's one of those things that like it's an instant diffuser, right? Like, oh man, we had to 86 an item and we're out of something, or they had to wait an extra 15 minutes, right? And I'm the irregular chef, right? Like I'm out in the dining room. I will touch a table. I will bus a table. I will help run food. Like I will literally do whatever it takes. And I think like dropping off like just that small little token, right? Like a nice warm chocolate chip cookie. We're all adults. We can have dessert before our main entrees. So, but it's just those little touches that I really just like to instill in my staff and the people that I work with, and it's just going above and beyond. So,
I mean, I feel like when you do that, like, oh my God, the chef came out the kitchen to talk to us. That makes people feel special.
Exactly.
Like that makes people feel so special. Like, oh my God, this guy took the time out on a busy night to come out and just touch our table. Like, yo, that's the greatest thing in the world. Like, people remember things like that. So, like, oh, our next function, we're gonna go to this restaurant because they made us feel amazing.
Not only that, but to me, like when I go to a restaurant and I see a chef touching the table, that shows me how well trained his staff is.
Yeah.
Because for him to be able to leave, right, and mingle with the guests and take time and not have to monitor, that means that everything's dialed in like 100,000%. So, that's the way that I like to operate, and it's just the mentality and the mindset that I've adopted over many, many years in the kitchen. In the kitchen.
All right. So we veered off a little bit. Let's get back on the freeway of Chef Johnson here. Okay. So we talked about, you finally moved to Dallas. You said you was working at Pacific. What was the name of it again?
Cafe Pacific.
Cafe Pacific. Yeah. All right. So from Cafe Pacific, let's take us on your culinary journey from there.
All right. So I was at Cafe Pacific, and it was a shout out to Chef Megan Potts. She saw I wouldn't say young, because I think I graduated culinary school. I think it was like 26, 27. So I had lived a whole nother life. But, she took a chance on me. She really did. And she took me under her wing for a brief time. And she fostered my curiosity. She fostered my talent. She allowed me to stretch my wings a little bit and grow. And, within, 3-4 months, I was a lead. I was helping, expedite and run food. And I was helping, come up with specials. And she parted ways from that restaurant, and she was bound for bigger and greater things. And she opened up her own spot right outside of Fort Worth. It's called the Nice. It's absolutely phenomenal. And she put me in contact with Chef Kelly Hightower, who was working as the executive chef at the Cowboys Club in Frisco. Yep. And he again took a chance, and he gave me my first ever sous chef position. And that's where I met this handsome devil right over here. Oh, shit. And, I was there for about 8 or 9 months, and that was just a whirlwind, right? Like that's where my creativity was, like, it's just, changing the menus every month and, running different menus because it's a private members club and because they, we would watch the games and there'd be other events. So maybe you're running like 6 or 7 menus at a time, and in a relatively small kitchen staff, not overly crazy, but definitely was probably one of the more creative focused jobs that I've had. And I really, really owe a lot of that to not only Chef Kelly, but Chef Tim Durson and Chef Greg Dishman. I remember Dish. Yeah. So they all nurtured me, and they all, I got chewed out, you know what I mean? But they fostered that light that you see when you hire somebody, right? Yeah. And, of course, the general manager at the time, Stacy Bowers.
Hi, Stacy. How are you doing? If you're watching this.
She was a big influence as well, right? She really taught me how to, refine and put restraint on a plate. Yeah. And I thought that was huge from like that general manager front of house perspective. And she really taught me how to integrate myself into the front of house. You know what I mean? So to where instead of it's classic battle of like front of house versus back of house, and it's like, don't come over here and try to steal my fries. Like it showed me the importance of a cohesion, right? Of a true unity and teamwork mindset. So after Cowboys Club, I went off to North Italia, Legacy West, and I was a sous chef there for 2 years. I had an absolutely phenomenal time. That restaurant right there taught me volume.
Yeah.
600 covers, Friday, Saturday nights, sweating over a French top, making chicken parms and salmon and pasta and, and that really also showed me with Fox Restaurants, that the systems and procedures that they instilled. So, profit and loss statements and, becoming a more lethal manager, like understanding empathy and understanding how to effectively communicate with your team. But then that took me from 2018 to 2020, and I think it was February of 2020 I made the lateral vertical move to Flower Child. I took a promotion and was an executive sous chef at the Addison location of Flower Child, and that was literally like 29 days before full-blown COVID, everything shut down, don't leave your house, Instacart everything, and I guess everybody's like early onset clinical depression, right? Because it was such a harrowing experience, right? To like be away from people. Like human beings, we thrive on community, and to be isolated. Like, listen, I love my wife to death, but at the same time, like, and I guarantee you, if she's here right now, she would also agree. Like, sometimes absence makes the heart grow fonder.
It does. That's a true statement.
Not only that, like, we had our daughter as well, my firstborn, Reagan, and trying to effectively raise a small child during COVID, like, can't go to the park without a mask, like. We're the only ones here, but you're afraid you're going to get like Gestapo'd or something. So, but no, he
doesn't have his mask on.
Get him now. But no, like I was there for a year and a half, and right through the brunt of COVID, and it was amazing. As a fast casual concept, it's a little different, but it was still very like ingredient focused, chef driven. Again, it's still part of the Fox Restaurant playbook, so to speak. Yeah. And from there, that takes me, year and a half. So like 2021, 2022, something like that. I had a really good friend named Gabrielle Miller reach out, and she needed me to help her at a restaurant in the colony called Windmills Indian Brewery. And they're out of Bangalore, India. It was the first one of their kind. And so I had already been promoted to an executive chef at Flower Child. Just after like 6-7 months, which was kind of huge, and I was really excited about that. But this was like my first, actual, executive chef, a newish opening restaurant, and I was there for a little bit, and it was amazing. You know what I mean? And having, been prior Air Force and traveled, I spent a year in Korea, and I love multicultural and multi-ethnic cuisines. I think it's absolutely amazing. And the Indian food that we were preparing there is top notch. It's absolutely phenomenal. And I was there for about 4 or 5 months, and I was then hit with an opportunity to become the executive chef of Bistro 31 in Highland Park Village. And I jumped on that opportunity. It brought me full circle right back to Cafe Pacific. It's literally like three doors down, right? So started my career in Highland Park Village, and then came back full circle. And I was I was there at Bistro 31 for 3 years. I got introduced to a lot of amazing people, a lot of amazing guests, established connections, lifelong relationships, and found a really good friend, Michael Bratcher. He was my general manager, and we're still, amazing friends today. I love that guy to death. And he taught me a lot about patience, and he taught me, a lot about that hospitality aspect, because that man eats, sleeps, and breathes hospitality, and he really imprinted that on me. And then that brings us up to 2024. Last year, I parted ways with Bistro, and for about a month I was in kind of limbo, and by that time I've got 2 kids. My daughter's getting ready to start preschool, and my son's getting ready to go in. So I took a month and really got to connect with the family, and watch them grow a little bit. Yeah. And then I was presented with the opportunity for EVELYN. And that was absolutely amazing. Brand new concept. And I was like, I think I might have been like the first person to click like on the Indeed ad for like the EVELYN chef job, first hire. And it was all kismet, right? Like it happened within the span of like 4 or 5 days. Like,
damn,
I hit accept, right? I filled out the application, and then I noticed that they were affiliated with another restaurant and another restaurant group. And so I contacted, one of my contacts over there, and they're like, "Oh, you need to contact, this individual who I had previously worked with at North Italia." So I did, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like, this is absolutely amazing." So it was like literally like Thursday, interview on Friday, 2 days, met with the CEO on Monday, offer letter on Tuesday, and then, off unemployment. So
yeah,
I'm not built for unemployment. I realized it's just not who I am.
And that's also something I really talk to people about. Like, yes, having a great work ethic is amazing, but also the relationships you build matter a lot. I always say, like, think of your name like credit. Yeah. Okay. It's like, how good is your credit?
Exactly.
Is it good or is it bad?
Yeah.
How good is your name? Is it good or bad? How are your relationships? What are people going to say about you? Now, there's always going to be some people who just not like you.
Exactly.
Just not like you. But overall, if you're a good person, that's just going to travel. Over. Yeah, this guy works hard. He's a good person. He's reliable. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's important. People don't think about that. They think about like, oh, I'm not making income. Well, think about it. Sometimes things may not work the way you want to, but like, you sticking things out when they're not worth it, it kind of works out for you. So people look at that, they figure out, what is this person's integrity like? Let me challenge this person. Like, how's he going to act in these situations? Is he going to blow up, or is it like, what? Yes, chef. No problem, chef.
Exactly.
I understand. Thank you.
Exactly.
So, you touched on 2020, man. It was wild times, bro.
It was
wild times. So, funny. I started my show about 3 weeks before COVID. I started my show 3 weeks before COVID. February 20th. That's when I recorded my first episode of my show. Prior to that, I went on tour to tell people, hey, me and my buddy, we're about to start a show. Yeah. So we went on other people's show to like promote, like, hey, we got the shows coming. Started it 4 episodes in, everything shut down. So that's all we had to do. We just went to the studio and just recorded episodes. Like, well, got nothing else to do.
I know, it's perfect.
Couldn't really go to the gym like that. It was crazy. The most exercise I did was walking from my bedroom to my refrigerator to my front door to my food. A little lap. Pretty much all the exercise I got.
You're still getting those steps in.
Getting those steps in, but man, how many people gain so much weight from COVID and stuff because you're not doing anything,
You're not active.
I would drive by one of my buddies' house. Hey, I would do a drive-by shot with you. You're going to stand in your door. I'm sitting right here. We do shots. All right, see y'all later.
There you go. That's social hour.
A little social hour, man. And that's one of the things, too, I've noticed, like, in the service industry now, like, happy hour used to be a big thing. I don't think happy hour is a thing anymore. People don't do happy hour anymore. Like, it's crazy. I think maybe, I don't know, because a lot of people work from home now. And like,
very true.
A lot of people don't do that. Like, happy hour used to be a happening thing. Hey, we're going to happy hour today. Like, yeah. So I don't think that's a thing anymore. It's all about brunch. I think brunch is the thing now.
How loose can we get with language?
Let it go.
I fucking hate brunch. I absolutely detest brunch. Not in like metaphysical sense of like I don't like eggs. I'll fuck up an omelet. You know what I mean? And I love it. But the chaos that is brunch, and it's not, in my opinion, worth it sometimes.
Yeah.
I did my externship at the Broadmoor in Colorado Springs. It's a very, very beautiful, beautiful privately owned hotel. And I worked a brunch shift on a Sunday. Mm-hmm. And it is murder. I was on the omelet bar. And nothing like just overprivileged children who have never been told no to put 75 items in an omelet and then expect me to roll it like a burrito. So, you do that for 6 or 7 hours, and you really you lose the brunch passion.
Yeah.
And you just want to tell the child no, but you can't.
Hey, you little fuck. Hey there.
So
okay. Sure, buddy.
But
whatever you want.
You're not. But like I said, you always see the trends, right? The culinary trends. You'd mentioned farm to table, right? No shit. Where do you think it's coming from? It's coming from a farm, all right? And you're eating it at a table. But now it's locally sourced, right? And I think that's huge, especially in Texas. We have a lot of beautiful things that we can produce here in Texas. Yeah. Besides beef, and Tex-Mex. So I definitely think, those locally sourced ingredients, it helps out local farmers. I'm all about small businesses. I love helping out, small businesses and letting them thrive. But with that being said, brunch, no, thank you.
Let me tell you something, and I'm pretty sure you could relate to this. Like, the amount of allergies I hear people have now. I remember, like I said, when I was younger, you didn't hear half the allergies. None of these shit existed. Now I'm allergic to this, and this. Why the fuck did you come out to a restaurant if you're allergic to all this?
It's, I take allergies very seriously, right?
Yeah, for sure. As you should. But, I'm wondering, are you really allergic to this, or you're just trying to be hip to today's? The first time I really heard of gluten allergy was I was a manager at Macaroni Grill.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you have a gluten allergy, why are you coming to a gluten factory? This is a fucking gluten factory. And I would tell people, yes, we have gluten-free products, but I can't guarantee you on the way from the factory in the truck.
Cross-contamination, yeah.
I can't guarantee you that it's going to be. So I'm going to have to say no. I'd rather you be safe than you wing it and something happen oh, now I'm out of a job. So people get upset at you, why can't you accommodate me? Ma'am, I want to accommodate you, but I can't.
I always do my best, right?
Yeah,
I always go out to the table because, I always take the mantra of let me be the first point of contact. So if anything happens, it's just A to B, right? And so sometimes it's a culinary challenge, you know what I mean? And sometimes it's nice to kind of flex that muscle a little bit and be like, you can't have, 90% of the items on the menu.
Yeah.
All right, give me 25 minutes, and some willpower. And that's another mantra that I've adopted is I'll always say, listen, if there's nothing on the menu that you like, I'll make you whatever you want. Now, be reasonable. You've seen what I have on the menu. Don't
ask for some chicken tendies.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if I got chicken, I can make tendies. But I want the experience to go well. But yes, the amount of allergies is, I don't know.
I'm like, where do all these allergies come from? I think it's wild.
I think I've systematically rubbed enough gluten and peanut butter in my kids' faces to ensure that they'll make it in today's society. Honestly,
soft. You won't be soft. I'm joking. Someone's about to cancel me for staying now. I'm like, no, I'm just fucking. But no, some of y'all do have some weird bro. I've seen some weird ones. I'm like, how's that even a thing? But I do have a friend, one of my close friends, Jerica. She's allergic to raw tomatoes. The acidity.
It's that lycopene in there. It's the acidity from that tomato for sure.
But if they're cooked up, she's fine. But if it's raw, it's not a good day.
I mean, at the same time, fish have histamines in them, right? So it's I know you guys probably can't tell from looking at me, very fair skinned, and very, very white and very, very fair skinned. So sometimes my hands will break out if I'm butchering fish and I'm not wearing black gloves or something like that. You'll get a little red and irritated, and it's it's just those things. I can eat fish, but it's just that contact. So like I said, if it's out there, somebody will have it for sure.
Yeah, it's. Like I said, I've seen some crazy stuff. And also, too, I've had so many people ask me some dumb questions. Like I say, there's no such thing as a dumb question. No, there is a such thing as a dumb question. I remember once someone asked me one time, like I said, when I was a teenager, I would never forget this. How's your chicken fried chicken prepared? How's the chicken fried chicken prepared? Oh, let me think about that. The chicken fried chicken, I'm thinking that they're going to get the hint, Then I've had someone said, "Hey, my French fries taste like potatoes." I've seen some of the dumbest things, or my salmon is fishy. What does that mean? I never get that. What does that mean?
Sometimes common sense is not so common.
It is not, bro. So. It is not, man. And man, there's some, and people don't listen. People don't listen. I had a Middle Eastern people get really mad at me one time. It was really mad at me. It's my buddy. He told him, hey, we have this chicken and sausage soup. This guy kept trying to order soup. He's like, hey, it has sausage in it. He's like, man, it has sausage in it. So finally, the guy's eating. He's like, oh, man, this is great. What is this meat? He's like, it's pork. And the guy's face just went white ghost. I think he went and purged himself. But I guess they assume, some sausage may be beef.
And And that's the reason why. And that's the reason why, like, when I deal with food aversions or food allergies, I direct to the source. So I can truly explain it to everybody just to try and mitigate that. And it's also, I feel like, when a chef comes to the table and does that, it's a more approachable feel than trying to communicate everything to a server. And, a server's got like 75 different things that they're worried about. And, to them, like, write that in their little doot pad and make sure that they're truly, truly understanding the severity of it. Like I said, I just try to mitigate that. Just try to mitigate that risk.
And I just one of the things, like, I like it when a lot of places ask people, like, hey, is there any allergies we need to be aware of? Like, I think that's the smartest thing. So that way, like, okay, this person is because
Exactly.
people don't read the menu. I'm like, sir, hey, you said you're allergic to this, but this has this ingredient in it.
And that's the reason why it's nice to have that, because then you can help guide them through the experience.
Yeah. And you'd be surprised how many people they know something they're allergic to, but they're not reading all the ingredients.
Exactly.
They assume that it's safe.
Exactly.
And then because they assume if something happens to them, they want to take it out on you. I'm like, well, ma'am, I can't read your mind. I don't know what you're allergic to and what you're not. So if you're a server out there, ask people if they have allergies, all right? All right, so we're at EVELYN, and I don't know if I've seen EVELYN, man. It is an amazing, beautiful, man. I've been seeing the pictures and videos. It's amazing, dude. Like, it's awesome. Like, I'm like, wow. Now I looked, like, damn, they got a dress code and everything in there. Like,
smart business casual, So EVELYN is a beautiful, like, old Hollywood-inspired, steakhouse. And it draws inspiration from a book called The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and that is, like, loosely based on Elizabeth Taylor's, like, reign in Hollywood, right? So just this badass, strong female, multiple husbands, not taking no for an answer, just, like, really showing the power of femininity. And we've incorporated those elements into the restaurant. We've got 3 beautiful different rooms. We've got private dining space available. And I mean, it is an absolute vibe at night,
champagne room.
Look, we got a beautiful champagne room. We got room 7, which is a disco. We got the Ruby room, which is our bar when you first walk in. Okay. It's great for people watching. And then we have the chandelier room, and this is that intimate date night vibe, fine dining, and it screams old Hollywood.
Okay.
And so, and then, we're still working on the menu, right? So nothing is ever perfect, nothing. Mm-hmm. And that's what we do as chefs, right? We strive for perfection. So, the menu was curated well over a year ago. Even though we've only been open since March 26th of 2025, we started menu development on it in September, October of 2024. And I mean, one of the things that I truly love is the ownership takes pride in everything that we're doing. So we meet weekly, we talk about items, right? We're reaching out to guests, ensuring they're having, like, an amazing experience, right? Like, if every bite doesn't make you roll your eyes in the back of the head and be like, God damn, this is the best bite, then we got to figure out how we can get to that point. So that's what I love.
Yeah. I always came up with this idea for a show I want to do. And I don't know if I want to say it. I'm going to say it because someone's going to steal it anyways, whatever. So you've seen the show Office, right?
Oh, yeah.
One of the most quotable shows in the kitchen,
All time, yeah. All time.
She said, right? I wanted to do, like, a show like that, but, like, for the restaurant industry, I feel like there's so much crap we could talk about from stories firsthand that I don't know if we could or we couldn't in today's society. It'd be really, really offensive, but it'd be really, really funny at the same time.
I think you'd have to get, like, Showtime to buy it. Like HBO for sure. But I think and speaking of shows, right? So, like, The Bear, right? And I think that is probably the closest representation of, like, what kitchen life is like. Now, obviously, there's, like, some dramatic moments and there's a lot of drama woven in and out, but I always thought, like, what was it, Hard Knocks, right, where they mic'd up the players? I was like, just put a mic on some chefs and some line cooks and some servers, and you'll have endless amounts of fun.
It's funny things like, when servers come back behind that door in the kitchen, well, this dumbass, I got this table, like, there's some things you don't piss off your servers, is all I'm gonna say.
You hate to admit it, but it's there, honestly.
Yeah, it's there too. EVELYN, man, it looks, the things look amazing. I can't wait to go.
I'm excited. Like, like I said, when you're not being the world's best podcaster and busy all the time, then all you gotta do is hit me up, shoot me a text, and then I'd love to host you. some family, some friends. You know what I mean? Make a night of it. It's going to be amazing.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do it. I got a birthday coming up here. Maybe I don't know. We can make something happen. I don't know.
Let's do it.
We'll see. Make sure you act right. You want to be my good friends. This is gonna be an exclusive thing, so you better make sure you're good to me from now between now and then. All right. So at the EVELYN, all right. Now, Thursday nights, we get to see you on Fox.
Yes.
Hell's Kitchen with the guy Gordon Ramsay. All right.
Yes, sir.
Talk about how that came about for you, how that opportunity came to you, and what was it like filming it? I know you're not gonna have to tell us anything, because I know how it works with TV and stuff like that. But just let's talk about that whole process of getting on Hell's Kitchen. What is it like filming Hell's Kitchen? And just talk about your experience on that.
So I was reached out to by a talent scout via LinkedIn in like January, February timeframe of 2024, and I thought it was a scam, like one of those Nigerian prince scams, where it's like, give me your social security number and I'll give you all this money. Yeah, but it was legitimate, right? And it's a talent acquisition for Hell's Kitchen, and I remember watching that in 2001. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like that's a show that I've consistent 24 years. I guess
crap. I guess it was been since you don't fucking think about
you don't think about it.
Because there's a lot of shows that have been on TV fucking forever. Like, when is the show ever going to end? Like, Survivor has been on forever. Fucking Grey's Anatomy. Many more seasons are going to make of that show?
I know.
Hell, goddamn.
So, 24 years strong, 24 years. So, they reached out and, like the interview process is a lot of, Skype interviews with producers and, they want to know your resume. They want to know your background. They want to know your personality. Like a lot of, talks with background checks and, psychiatrists.
You're a racist. Want to make sure you're not a racist or bigots on the show.
Mean, honestly, it's national television and that's what they're going for. They want to make sure that, you're semi-neutral in everything, even keeled, I think is the word. So they reached out and I was actually in the running for both seasons, right? So I believe, don't misquote me, Hell's Kitchen fans, all right? Please don't. Very strong fan, very, very strong fan base. But I believe it was Head Chefs Only. That was the season 23. And then obviously season 24, Battle of the States, right? So I believe that I was in the running for either or. And, I lost my grandma the year prior. And my grandfather, who has a birthday in May, I wanted to be there. You know what I mean? Because it was not only is it his birthday, but my grandparents got married on my grandfather's birthday, so it's their wedding anniversary. So it was a big one, right? So I wanted to be out there for him. So I'm like freaking out. I'm like, call these producers, these talent guys, and I'm like, hey, like, I know you said that I'm like good for both. Is it any way that I could just be like good for season 24? Because they were filming all of May, and I would have missed that. Yeah. And they were like, hold on. And that was like next 48 to 72 hours of like waiting to check. Whereas I was like, oh my God, did I just blow it? You know what I mean? Like, did I blow it? Like he would understand, like, I know that, but I was like, I gotta be there for him. And fortunately they call back and they're like, you're good, take it. And, here's your plane ticket for, June, and you're not 100% guaranteed, but we're flying you out. Right. So just like on the premiere episode, they flew out a ton of chefs from all 50 states, right? And we're in this big auditorium. And so you're there and fingers crossed you get called, right? So that whole process, it filmed in June for a good majority of June. And it was a wild ride, 20-hour days, constantly being on camera. You're meshing with 19 other personalities, 19 other alphas, you know what I mean? So for those of you that are watching the show, everybody's a personality. Everybody is definitely a memorable individual. And I think at the end of it, I made 19 friends for life. We have a group chat where we're constantly messaging, each other, but it is intense and and I cannot stress this enough. It is not scripted. Yeah. It is 1,000%. You're working in a restaurant. It's got Chef Ramsay's name on it, and he demands perfection at everything. So,
How many idiot sandwiches were there? This
He never called anybody an idiot sandwich, but I think we all had our idiot sandwich moment because you can't go through that unscathed.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And I've been yelled at by some of the best that the United States military has to offer, but there's just something special when Chef Ramsay is yelling at you and you're like, I feel 6 inches tall. He just and he's a big guy. He's like 6'1", 6'2", you know, and that's before his amazing head of hair. It has like another 3 or 4 inches. It's all spiked up, but he has an intimidating presence when you're in the kitchen, but he has every single right to have that presence. But when you have these one-on-one conversations with him and you have the opportunity to like sit down with him, he's the nicest person ever. Like, he's a genuine guy. He cares about family. He cares about mental health and a work-life balance. And he told us, he was like, it's not about the amount of time, it's the quality of time, right? So it's like when you're with your family, the phone's off, right? And I'm focusing on my family and I'm absorbing quality time because when I'm back at it, I'm back at it. Yeah. So it's one of those, that was one of the things that stuck with me on that. So
Got you. And again, if you're tuned in, Thursdays, Fox, and the next day on Hulu. All right, awesome. So we got caught up on that. So we from this journey of culinary to EVELYN. Again, make sure y'all go check out EVELYN in the Design District here if you're in the DFW, or if you're coming to the DFW area, make sure you go check that out. All right. So we got a little fun segment on the show. It is called. What is the name of this thing? It's called.
Slow down. I just wanna get to know you.
Slow down. We just want to get to know you. This is where we just kind of ask you some random questions.
go for it.
We don't know where we're going to go with some of these questions, but we're going to get somewhere. And then,
Let's go.
We're going to wrap it up. But before we could continue with the slow down segment, I want you to shout out all your social medias and a bunch of different things you want people to go check out.
Well, first and foremost, I'm essentially a grandpa because I only have one social media besides Facebook, obviously, is Instagram. So it's at Chef Henry Johnson for Instagram. Follow me. I have exclusive like Hell's Kitchen content that I post on there as well as just my creativity and dishes and, feel free to reach out. And if you're curious on one of the dishes that I've made, like I'll shoot you over the recipe. I'm a very open book, right? So that's at Henry Johnson or at Chef Henry Johnson on Instagram. And then other than that, like please, if you have not tried EVELYN, please come down to the Design District, come down, enjoy yourself. You can book a reservation on Open Table, and I just would love for every single person to experience it. It is such an amazing experience.
Awesome. Yeah, make sure y'all go check that out. Check him out, man. He's doing amazing things, all right? Cool. This is one of the staple questions of this segment, all right?
All right.
So say, for instance, I'm Ray. I'm a movie producer, movie director, and I want to make the Chef Henry movie, okay? Who do you want to star as you in the movie?
All right, so obviously, it's a loaded question because I get commonly referred to as a Bill Burr.
I was exactly thinking about that.
So, if you could mix Bill Burr with Jeremy Allen White, I think that would be pretty good because of Jeremy Allen White's portrayal of Chef Carmy in The Bear. Yeah. He has my intensity. But I think my humor is more aligned with Bill Burr. I think I don't know. I feel like that's like a lame answer, but
hey,
I think that's what I got.
Hey, it works. All right. So let's segue into the next question. You said something about The Bear, all right? So that's a TV show, about, being in a restaurant, being a cook, all right? What's a TV show or movie about restaurants you're like, this is absolutely crap. Wouldn't even happen in a restaurant that could come to mind? Is there anything out there like that that's like, this isn't accurate?
I mean, obviously, like every TV show or movie that's been out there, right, is always Hollywooded up.
Yeah.
So like obviously like the movie Waiting comes to mind, right? Like that movie is absolutely hilarious and it shows you like what happens when a restaurant is just poorly managed and it's just utter chaos. But like I promise everybody who's listening right now that is never happening. Like it's basically like everybody's darkest desires that was like put on celluloid. But I'm trying to think, honestly, because there's been some like really, really great culinary movies, right? You've got Burnt with Bradley Cooper. That was like a really good portrayal of like the hunt and the strive for Michelin, right? There used to be, Bradley Cooper used to star in a show way back in the day, and it was called Kitchen Confidential, and where he played Jack Bourdain, and it was like kind of loosely based off of Kitchen Confidential with Anthony Bourdain, that best-selling book.
Yeah.
That was a short-lived one season, great show. That was a good portrayal. Was it 100-Foot Journey? That was a really, really good show. But I can't really think of any shows that are just like so wildly out there. Honestly, it's Waiting. Like, there's no way that shit would fucking happen.
Well, there's a couple things in Waiting like that I've seen happen. For instance, like the end of the restaurant when like people when people get there at the end of the night to restaurants, people don't go to a restaurant towards the end of the night. Granted, you're supposed to still get good service no matter what, but don't be those people. You've been out all night. Oh yeah, I decided I want to go out to dinner now. 15 minutes before close.
And I think
don't be those people.
And I think that is like it exposed like those deep, dark, almost twisted desires that like every line cook and every server has. And they're like, you walked in 1 minute prior to close and you want a well-done steak?
Yeah.
Like, it's frustrating. So.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. So, like I said here at the beginning of the show, we like to highlight people that do things amazing in the city of Dallas. Who are some people or places or, even some events that you think that are underrated gems that people should know about in Dallas?
Underrated gems in Dallas. Man, that's a good question. Well, I will say, I hang my hat in McKinney. Okay. So I definitely think, I don't know if it's underrated because it does have notoriety, but like McKinney Square.
Okay.
It's an absolute amazing place. There's a lot of local businesses in the area. There is a lot of great things to do with your family. And there's a lot of great little spots to eat. There's an amazing coffee shop called Layered.
Okay.
That does an amazing brunch, ironically enough. And then it turns into a speakeasy at night.
Okay.
Which is kind of cool. So that's kind of, and like I said, it's not underrated. It's just a hidden gem for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Where's the McKinney Square? What area is that?
McKinney Square. So obviously north on 75.
Okay.
And then, take the Virginia exit.
Okay.
And you just stroll down Virginia Street, and then it will give you to this beautiful, late 1800s, early 1900s square. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Is everyone welcome in the late 1800, early 1900 square? Just say.
I mean, I think so. And I'm just going to go with that.
Yeah, all right. Just to make sure if it's safe. It's not a sundown town.
No, it's safe. It's safe for sure. It's safe
joking,
for sure.
I'm joking. All right. So, 5 of your favorite dishes you like to prepare.
5 of my favorite dishes. So I'm all over the place, right? Like I don't pigeonhole myself with anything, right? So obviously I love to cook meat. Mm-hmm. I love steaks. I love Italian food. So I like to make, cacio e pepe or carbonara are probably like 2 of my favorite pastas. And I always like to add a little spice on it. So I was inspired by David Chang. He does like a chili crisp carbonara with like ramen noodles. So I love that. And then good soup, right? You got to have a good soup in the mix, whether it's like tomato soup or chicken noodle, because, having, 2 young kids, they're germ factories, right? So you have to have that. With that being said, grilled cheese, I'm a grilled cheese master. Yeah. And then I also really, really enjoy vegetables, right? So, whether that's like whole roasted cauliflower or, like heirloom carrots, I feel like vegetables don't get enough love in today's society.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. So that's a good question to start off. You talked about, you love making grilled cheese and stuff. So being a chef, when you're at home, how often do you like to cook? Do you not like to touch the stove when you're at home, or you cook pretty often still at home?
I still cook. Like, get done with this. We're gonna do a little joint birthday celebration with myself and my father-in-law.
Okay.
I got some steaks that I'm gonna grill out, and I love cooking. It's a passion, right? Like I don't think I'd be where I'm at today if I didn't have the passion for it, right? But I cook at home because I want my kids to see that. I want them to see like you can make stuff out of nothing, right?
Yeah.
So my daughter and I will make pancakes together. My son is not quite old enough; he's only 3. But honestly, like my wife is an amazing cook in her own right.
Mhm.
She does get run ragged with these kids. So I never put any type of expectation, right? And I always am very appreciative when she makes meals, and I really truly I really respect that about her. But I bring a lot of food home, and we try to like meal prep a little bit, so where like we have like casseroles where we like quick and easy in during the school weeks. But yeah, I mean I still love to cook, right? And my wife is my harshest critic. And she will be like, "This ain't shit." She will straight up say, "This is the best you got." And I think that's why like we'll be celebrating 10 years this year to I mean like married 10 years, and she's straight up she'll tell me straight. She doesn't play at all.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
Oh man.
Oh man, it's awesome. What is this shit?
She straight up like she'll be nice about it, but she'll just like give me a look and she'll be like, "You're better than this," and I'm like, "All right, you're correct."
Okay, that's a good question. How do you tell someone like, "Hey, yo, this is it could be improved. Like you're not bad, but it could use improvement." Or are you just like, are you one of those people like your face like tells how you're feeling and you can't hide it or whatever?
I'm under the mindset of this, right? Like everybody has something that's special to them, right? So if you made a sandwich or you made a dish or you made a pasta or you made something that like you have been cooking for years or something that like brings you comfort, then you present that to me. Like I'm not necessarily the person to judge that because that's something special to you, right? So like what I cook is special to me, and you might not feel the same way. Like, if I make a steak, medium rare or something like that, and I present it with this sauce and this side and this accoutrement, you could be like, "I don't like this," and I'm okay with that because it's everything. Yes, technically is like open to interpretation. Like if you say you're going to cook me something and you burn it, and then that wasn't your intention, and you serve it to me, then I'm going to be a little peeved.
Yeah.
But there's always room for nurturing and fostering. So like any of my line cooks, like my other chefs that I work with, like it is a creative bubble. It is a creative collective. I am not the sole creator. Like, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But let's figure out how to make it work. Let's figure out how to make it better, right? Like, let's work on flavor combinations. Let's work on different profiles. Like, are you looking for an Asian inspired dish? Are you looking for like a Latin American inspired dish? And let's go down that road together. And I think that's at the point where I'm at right now in my culinary journey and my culinary career. Like, I think that's what brings me the most like fun, is seeing the spark that I originally had like all those years ago, and like that light, and like working to make it brighter for someone. Yeah. And like I always say, like I don't really hire off of talent. I hire off of passion.
Gotcha.
Because I can teach anybody how to slice, dice, cook. I can teach anybody that, but you can't foster and you can't nourish and you can't grow passion. Like you either have it or you don't. Yeah. And you got those, and you got those guys that are like, "I'm here for my paycheck." Yeah. And they're like, "It's burnt." I go, "I'm still getting paid, right?" Be like, "Yeah, but this burger is burnt." Be like, "Do you want me to make another one?" And then you're like, "Yes, please." That would be out fucking standing. So that's where I'm at. Like, so if you were to make something for me, I'm not going to be like, "Wow, this is dog shit. Thank you so much for spending the time to make me this." I would be like, "Do you, this is what you like? Like, this is," I'd be like, "Yeah, this is the reason why I like that." Like, I've got weird flavor combinations. Yeah, I got like weird things that like I would eat when I was little that like instant food memory, right? It snaps you back to when you're like 6 years old. Probably not the best thing for you, but who am I to judge,
Right. That's awesome. All right. So you know how they have like those little small airplanes, and a lot of times they attach banners, they fly them across the sky with a message.
Yes.
If we could do that for you, and we could put a message on the back of an airplane and fly it across the sky, what message would you want on it?
I think it would say hands in the kitchen. I think it would say full hands in, full hands out, honestly.
Corner.
Safety. I think it would say safety words. No, in all seriousness, the banner behind a plane. You got some badass questions, man. Like you've been doing this for like 5 years. I can tell. Man, I think it would be food memories, honestly. I have a strong passion about like every chef's like worst question, right? Is what do you like to cook? What's your specialty, right? Like what everything. Like I like to consider myself like a jack of all trades, right? I'm not throwing any gauntlets out there by any means, but I like to take the time to research like a culture and a cuisine, right? So I spent a whole year in Korea, and they have such an amazing affinity and love for food. I love Korean food. I love Korean flavors, right? And I researched that. Like I understand that about the culture. I understand that. I also grew up with Southern grandparents. Yeah. And so Southern hospitality, like I eat, sleep, and breathe Southern hospitality. And I love Southern and soul food. I do. I love it. But I can also respect the culture, and I can respect like the history behind all of it. And I love how it integrates, and I love how it integrates not only in society, but I like how it integrates through the plate as well. And that's why like I said, like a couple of days ago, I made the staff some like, Nashville hot chicken sandwiches, right? Because I love that spice combo, right? I love the crispiness of it. And also,
it's trending right now.
There was a fried chicken episode on Hell's Kitchen, fucking crushed, no big deal. And so
just
like,
no biggie,
I wanted to take that and I wanted to like elevate it a little bit, but like I make, ramen, you know what I mean? I love ramen. I think a bowl of ramen is like the perfect thing you could have, right? And I mean, shit, like even a simple grilled cheese sandwich with like tomato soup, like there's nothing better, right? And so my goal in life is to make you remember food. And my goal in life is for you to take a bite of something and be like, holy shit, am I 7 years old at my aunt's house? Or, oh my God, am I in New York City right now eating a dirty water dog? You know what I mean? From a shady vendor? Like, what's going on? So,
man, that's awesome, man. And it makes you think too, like, as we've grown like in the culinary industry and hospitality industry, like how your palate evolves and like how it goes from, not only just cooking dishes, but pairing it with great food and drinks. Someone who just came to my mind, I'm gonna give him a shout out. Remember Megan Foreman?
Oh yeah,
Megan Foreman, Megan Pennington. They used to work at the club.
Yes.
Dude, they used to make like some amazing drinks.
They did
like,
a great job.
Amazing. So shout out to them.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's crazy stuff, and that's one of the things I learned, like how to elevate and pair like wine, like my palate now for wine and cocktails is like so simple. Back in the day, you said, I just want a fucking beer, or I just a call, drink, like let me get a whiskey and Coke or whatever, but.
You're and everything elevates. Like
everything elevates.
I remember as like a young line cook and a young chef, like I thought everything had to be on the plate, right? Like you need 75 items, right?
Yeah.
And as I got older and as I got more experienced, I soon realized like there is in simplicity, you can elevate simplicity. Like if you learn how to do like 3 things on a plate, like extremely well executed and like extremely well, you don't need all that other stuff.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with cocktails, right? And it's, you don't need all these garnishes and you don't need all this. Like the perfect old fashioned. Yeah. Come on. Like get out of town. Dude, margarita. Yeah. Like 3 ingredients in that. Yeah. And then, like I said, like I would never really consider myself like a wine person, but as another thing, like shout out to my friend, Michael Bratcher. Like he showed me more about wine. And now, I mean, Pinot Noir from Oregon's, you know what I mean? Washington, let's go.
That's the shit. Let's go.
Let me get some Willamette Valley Pinot in my tum-tum, and I'll be good to go.
Let's go. It's juice. Sip of juicy juice. Little
juice.
juice.
A little juice cup.
So. I'm a tequila guy now. I was never a tequila person back in the day. Oh my God, I tell you how dumb we were. We thought Patron was like the most amazing thing. Now as an adult with a good palate for tequila, sorry, it's crap. It's absolute crap compared to a lot of different like tequilas, like tequilas and stuff out there. Like, it's just, and also I found out I was a diabetic. Tequila actually lowers your blood sugar.
Well, not only that, but think about it, right? Like think about how like when we were partying, 20 years ago, we're like everything's a shot, right? And you're just like some of the nastiest shit that we drank, like Rumpelmans. And Jaeger,
Goldschlager and Jaeger,
Goldschlager, the Gold Flakes, they'll get you drunk quicker. Like, but now it's like you can appreciate sipping on premium tequila, right? Like you don't need the what was it, the on the border bucket mix bag where you just dump tequila in and you've got the sweet and sour mix in there.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you can truly appreciate it, right? Like instead of shooting back like shit whiskey, you can appreciate like high quality bourbons and rye. So everything evolves.
Yeah, because like now I'm like a big fan of like Japanese whiskey, like Yamazaki 12. That is
Oh my
shit.
gosh, yeah.
I would sit there and just sip on Yamazaki 12 all day.
Japan's taking over, man.
Yeah, like I'm a big cigar smoker. So what I do with cigars, they have this one cigar is infused with Yamazaki 12. So like so much stuff I love, man, with that. So it's just evolution.
Yeah.
Like just people evolve.
Exactly.
We gotta evolve, all right? So we like to wrap up the episode with these 2 questions, all right? If you can give any advice to anyone, no matter the subject matter, what advice would you give? And secondly, what do you want people to take away from the podcast today?
All right. So first question, any piece of advice, right? It's just keep grinding. You know what I mean? It's keep your head down. Everything happens for a reason. It's always darkest before the dawn. You know what I mean? Like insert cheesy inspirational quote, right? But like, I don't think enough people understand like, and maybe it's just because I have like a very, very strong work ethic and that's just how I was raised. Like you get it, right? Like that's how we came up. We just like, you do it and you pay your dues and you understand like the end goal is bigger and better.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, you know, you might have to step over some people, right? And you might have to become uncomfortable. But I think being comfortable when it's uncomfortable is like how you want to get there, right?
Yeah.
So like thriving in chaos, thriving when maybe plan A doesn't work and you got to go to B and C, right?
Yeah.
So I've always called the kitchen controlled chaos because that's what it is. But, you know, something that's always stuck with me is like, especially now as like a father and a husband, you know what I mean? Like you have to grind and you have to understand like everything that you're doing right now is to get to that end goal. And then, you know, something to take away from this podcast, honestly, you know, number one, I'm just very grateful that you had me on this podcast. And like I said, man, I'm just very proud of you and like everything you've accomplished. That. But like for me, it's just I love to talk. I'm like a ham, dude. I like to have fun. I like to joke around. But I want people to understand, like, you know, through humble beginnings, like you can achieve great things. Like I never in a million years I think I was gonna be on Hell's Kitchen. Never in a million years that I think I was gonna help, you know, open up one of the most amazing new restaurants in Dallas, right? Yeah. And it was through that through the support of like my close family and my people, right? And then that work ethic that we talked about a little bit, but just having your audience like kind of know a little bit more about me and you know what you're doing in the DFW area and shining light on like artists and creatives, like it's what we need, right? Yeah. Like chefs are just like artists and artists are just like chefs and you know, entrepreneurs and everything, like the grand scape of everything, like we're all interwoven and interconnected. Yeah. And the biggest thing I want everybody to take away is that food is a unifier, right? So there's nothing that can bring people together, no matter what race, religion, creed, sex orientation, whatever, than food, right? Yeah. You always break bread at a table, right? Like that's how you get to know people, right? First date, right? What are you doing? Food, right? Yeah. So that's what I want people to take away is like food unifies. Yeah, it is. That's all I got. Look at us. Look at us, man. We made it. Who would have thought? Well, again, appreciate you. Who would have thought we'd seen you on TV? Millions and millions of people seeing this guy on TV. But again, make sure you check him out Thursday nights on Fox on Hell's Kitchen, then next day on Hulu. Again, thank you for taking time out of your day, all right? We start off our show with positive words. We also end with positive words. First, I like to leave 2 messages. The first message being, if you're persistent, you'll get it. If you're consistent, you'll keep it. Consistency is the key to everything in life, all right? Now, I want you to get your swag on, kind of rub your hands like your Birdman. You know, tell yourself if you're looking in the mirror or you're in a car, look the rearview mirror, tell yourself, I will boss up mentally. I will boss up spiritually. I will boss up physically, and I will boss up financially. Invest in yourself. It's your guy, Ray Ray's podcast. My guy, Chef Henry from EVELYN and Hell's Kitchen. We're going to catch you next time. Sayonara.
Get money all day, get money all night. Sip my drink, let's get right. Getting paid. Hey. Get money all day, get money